Okay, so starting from where we left off, in advance, obviously, with two people at the equation, today's session may be a bit pre um, fabricated as such, so we'll have to try and find some things for you to do. But you guys return to the Whole Hog Tavern upon being strangely interrupted by a what seemed to be a large figure wearing armor, who fell to the floor only to reveal that it was a young female, some of you recognized as being the Princess of Leonis. Some failed attempts to wake her left you in a result to let her rest in the back room where Meliodas had set up a nice little resting area, and you guys spent the night. As you each begin to stir, you have Pavas in the back room, and there seems to be like some whispering coming from his room, from the room, and you can't quite, where you've rested up in the tavern area on the tavern floors, you can't quite hear what's being said.
Am I finished?
No, you still got lots of bread.
I'll go take a peek in the room to double check everything's okay.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Yep, everything's fine.
Yeah, you can't hear anything. So as you open the door, he kind of swiftly returns his hand into his pockets and kind of like acts like really shifty, but you can't quite grasp what's going on. And then he kind of returns to his like, oh, hello.
I just go. Everything okay in here?
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't it be okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I just heard whispering.
Oh, no whispers from me.
I'm with you, alright. Continue having fun with yourself, I guess, as I close the door.
So Pavos kind of, you can hear shuffling around, and he opens the door, and he kind of comes out into the tavern, and the strange kind of smoke kind of figure like appears almost like around, like as if he's being piggybacked on the back of Pavos. And this will be a great time for you to introduce yourself, Fizzle.
Right. I am. So what you see, the figure that's standing behind him, or rather on his back, from what I understood from the description, is a very small humanoid, a goblin covered in a blue cloak, and has many, many different kinds of potions and beakers and bags around his waist. And he has obviously pale green, or rather bright green skin, small beady black eyes, and a red mane for hair, pretty much, which seems to be singed. Like his eyebrows and his hair is singed, possibly due to some fire damage or something like that. I believe that's as much like anything you see.
Should we go and describe our characters for him in turn?
Yeah, of course.
Would you like to go first, Athena?
Sure. You see standing before you a human-like figure, standing 5'9", blue eyes. He's got a all pretty much really dark black
If you finish it, I'll give
armor
you some
with a
crispies.
black robe with a hood, and he's got a little muzzle up over his nose. And on him is you see on his back a short bow. He's got a rapier on his side, 3 daggers around his body, and a scimitar on his back.
Bunch of weapons.
Yeah. And, yeah, he's pretty dark individual.
Mm-hmm. I believe he was described as the Black Archer or something like that.
Yeah. That's how he likes to describe himself. He doesn't like revealing his name to strangers. He likes giving aliases.
Come here.
All right.
Over by the fireplace, you see a rather lanky figure, probably over 6.5 feet, approaching 7 feet tall, but relatively thin for that height. Mottled green skin, and probably of a race you've never seen before. Definitely not an orc or goblinoid, despite the color of the skin. And they seem to be looking over a rather damaged old set of armor that they were working on cleaning up last night, and they're just examining it in the light of the morning. They are, as for their own equipment, they wearing a suit of chainmail and have not one but 2 greatsword sheaths on their back. One of the hilts significantly more ornate than the other.
Ooh, we have you. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention: as per a goblin, I'm only 3 feet tall, barely.
Yeah, I'm over twice as tall as you.
So physicality. So yeah. Can I speak? Should I wait for interaction between the characters?
You can do what you need to.
All right. Do I notice the armor well, I do notice the armor he's working on.
You know the name of the individual you're on the back of.
Okay.
The others around you just seem to, in terms of your knowledge, these are just generic people, travelers.
Okay.
But
So,
Pavas, you are most certainly aware of.
Should I finish my business with Pavas first, then?
Absolutely, if you wish.
If I may, real fast.
Okay.
There's one peculiarity of my race that I forgot to mention even when I was initially introducing this character.
Mm-hmm.
My character does not have a nose. It's just like 2 slits where the nose would be on a human.
We'll get to that in a moment, then. It sounds interesting to me.
Okay, so you guys witness this individual kind of almost like an apparition kind of just phase into existence like a puff of smoke on Pavas's back. So
all right, so I'm gonna remember something and start rummaging around in pockets. I'm gonna pull out a small flask and I'm going to crack it over the head of Pavas.
okay.
Is it safe to say that at that point even my oblivious character notices something's going on?
I would say so, yeah, without a doubt.
Alright.
So you guys hear the smashing of a glass vial over Pavas's head as this figure smashes this bottle.
May I just say, this will give me some answers. Smash! Does it?
Okay. Any reaction?
I turn to watch, but that's it for the moment.
I would imagine at this stage, Sir Cavall would go, "My lord, what have you done?"
The 2 more evil people that don't really care too much are playing today.
Here's the thing.
Hey.
I'm just gonna get some answer from this person. Smash.
And as this like weird goblinoid individual kind of like speaks, and he's kind of saying he's going to get answers, you can see like Pavas starts to he begins with sounding like his dumb usual self, and then his voice starts to shift, and then he just screams like a regular intelligent person would do, and you can see like the steam and fizzle coming off of his face as he kind of rips off his mask, and you see his monitor face kind of bubbling and pussing as he's like, "Oh, you've spoiled you've spoiled everything, my plans. No!" And you can see like his flesh kind of like dissolving into his skull, and his heavy form just thuds to the ground.
Oh, that went different than I expected. Was it? He was not supposed to die. He was supposed to answer some questions. Do any of you know this person?
Who?
This thing. The dead thing on the ground.
Um,
My intention was not to kill it, but
I'll take its coin purse. But other than that, I don't care.
What did we know about him in character?
You knew he was a Minotaur. You knew that he had some relatively strong abilities, but he was as dumb as hell. He came across very friendly, almost like he wanted to try and integrate himself into the group.
I didn't trust him one bit.
In that case, Zarlam will turn to the goblin and say, he was a mammal, as inferior as any other.
okay, so he won't be missed. I'm glad, because apologize for killing him. I did not know that would happen. It's not
According
a.
to Search of Element, that's the only one you gotta worry about.
I look at
You
the
d-
person.
You defended yourself, and your power proved greater than his. Clearly, your right to survive took priority.
So Cavell, I would imagine, would speak up and go, "My lord, like you just killed him.
Like,
Perhaps there's a reason you smashed the glass on him. What is your reason for being here?"
Indeed, it was quite simple. I was given a job to interrogate this person, and that flask was supposed to be a flask of truth syrup. That would give me some answers to his crimes. However, I was misled. How ironic that an alchemist would be misled by an alchemical potion. I feel ashamed right now, but what's done is done. Not much I can do at this point. He was supposedly a vile creature traitor or something like that, but I guess we'll never know because he's dead now. We could search his body for some information if no one is squeamish enough to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna do that anyways.
Be
Yeah,
my guest. He was your companion.
I didn't know him that well.
Oh, I did say companion. Did not say friend or ally.
Yeah. I pat him down.
Okay, so you do find a strange looking copper ring that has like an exceedingly large sized I'm trying to think of the bloody gem now. Pearl. It's like mother of pearl on the top, but it's much larger than you would expect for a ring that size to have mounted on top of it.
Interesting.
And it kind of does have like a weird essence glow to it. But it does seem to be fading over the duration of holding it. So it's almost like it was recently in use and it's now kind of shutting down.
Do I notice that?
I put it in my bag.
Yeah.
Hold on, you might want to let me take a look at that. I might be able to identify that for you. If you like, of course.
Yeah, just give me a minute to get everything, and then I'll let you look over everything.
Absolutely.
You find obviously his coin purse. So let me just remind myself how much gold he had. So you find the 30 gold that he had on his person.
Nice.
Speaking of gold, do I have any starting gold? I forgot to ask.
Yeah, it's just a regular player's hand guy, whatever it states in there. It's just starter's guy.
I just put down 10 gold just so I can have some.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah, sure.
It depends on your background. You can have anywhere from 10 to 25, depending on your background.
Just 10 is enough, so I have some spending cash. It's fine.
You do find his arcane focus. It seems a bit peculiar. It seems like a little crow's like skull, which for someone that was portraying themselves as a lawful good celestial warlock, this wasn't particularly the kind of thing that someone of that alignment would be carrying.
Yeah, I'd leave it on his body. I don't want to touch it.
You do find there are several scrolls, like folded parchments and some scrolls on his person, most of which are requisitions for like wanted people, like bounties, like enemy of the states. It does highlight. You do actually see one that you recognize. Well, actually, you recognize them all, but only the code names of individuals that you recognize are on these wanted posters, and they're very, very poorly drawn, and the descriptive is kind of hazy.
I just laugh at these as I put them away.
Sure. And that's pretty much about it. That's pretty much all you get from that.
Well, if you're done picking over the carcass, I plan to head into town to get some supplies. You're welcome to join me if you'd like. Perhaps we can ask around about his behavior in the nearest village.
Is that aimed at me?
Both of you.
I will hand you the ring to identify.
Well, I will need a few minutes before we go. In order to identify that, I need to cast a short ritual. Do you mind getting ready while I do that?
So be it.
I will offer my services, of course, for free, considering what I just did. It's a bit unexpected. I will start casting Identify as a ritual. It will take me 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, as you spend time casting the ritual over the ring, you do start to get the flashes of the information regarding this individual item. It is a communication ring. This one seems to be one of one way, and it's recently been in use.
One way he can make calls or receive calls, like messages?
He can send calls.
Okay, so sound kind of like a sending stone. So I explained this to them, and it can be used perhaps to track the other part of this.
It does require a command word to activate. Which
Identify would give me that command word.
Yeah. Which you know as Pavas's name.
Oh. As in Pavas or another name?
It is Pavas.
Ah, okay. Well, I leave it to your discretion. Shall we keep this thing? It may prove rather useful in our future endeavors in terms of tracking whoever was using us.
Does it work both ways?
One way.
One way only sending, but I can keep it safe so it cannot be tracked.
Well, I had nothing to do with this, so I'll leave it up to the two of you.
What say you? I can have it hidden in another dimension.
Yeah, I'll let you hold on to it.
Alright then, and I'll pocket the thing.
Sure, no worries. So you know the nearest town to be Cairns again, which you could return to if you so choose.
Is it like a specific item I need to add to the inventory or just custom?
It's just a
Yeah,
profit rate
it's just a
marker,
custom,
so-
so that's fine.
Okay. I'm just asking so I can write something down.
Sure, no worries. So, Cairns Village, putting in mind that it's very early morning, it can't be any earlier than about 3 o'clock in the morning. You know that it's about a 10-hour walk to Cairns Village, and of course it does require maneuvering through the forest.
I will let Chevelle know that Pavas was a traitor, so you might want to keep an eye on the unconscious person and protect said person with his life.
That's good to know. In the name of the king, I will defend.
So
I
the
would
squire
hope
and
so.
him stay there. Correct?
So you have your squire that you recruited,
You would know
Circaval
that the king's
and Orion.
you would know that the king's been dead for 12 years.
Yeah, I would know. But my question was like, since the other person is not here, I'm guessing that him and his squire are staying behind to defend the princess. That was all I wanted.
Well, the squire
Well,
is
the woman.
employed by Zartlem, so it would be down to Zartlem to give those.
I misunderstood. I
details.
thought the king's thing did it. I know.
Sorry, what was the question?
Does your squire stay with Circaval and Orion?
No, he's gonna accompany us.
Okay.
I hand Zartam 10 gold. And then I look at the goblin person and I hand him 10 gold.
Oh, what was this for? Thank you.
And what boon do you expect in exchange for this?
Well, it's 1/3 of what I took off of puzzles. I'm just splitting it amongst the three of us.
Oh, well. Thank you, I guess.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, it's just a split of Pavas's money. It doesn't require anything. It's just your share.
Oh, thank you, I guess.
Zartlan will just kind of shrug and take it.
We're obviously the moral people of this group, so you know. Yeah.
I will go ahead and turn and give 2 of the gold pieces I was just given to my squire.
Okay. Just reset the font.
Can I, have I, like, read or heard or anything about the race this creature is?
What do you mean?
I don't actually know names. Hold on. Zartram.
So
My character.
Yeah. Would you know their names? Well,
Well, I'm like just pointing you into the creature's direction. I don't know their names.
oh, if you're looking for like, would you recognize their race by looking at them? I would say Zartlam is probably the only one that would be a bit more difficult to identify.
I don't look like a human.
Okay. Would I be able to make like an Arcana roll or history check or something?
Yeah, sure.
that
Go
give
ahead.
me?
Yeah.
What do you want me to roll?
A history check would be fine.
History, okay. Normal roll. There we go. I got a 21.
21. Yeah, I mean, even though you've never met one, You've definitely read books regarding the Githyanki. You understand a very small amount of their history, but you understand more about the description of how they appear, how they look, and know that most of anyone that's crossed paths with one is either barely survived, or they don't talk highly in terms of their personality. They seem a bit brash or very direct. But other than that, that's pretty much all you can pull out from.
Alright, so I don't know a name of the.
You'd know the race, but you wouldn't know his individual name without him giving you a name. Anyone that would have been part of the Kingsmen would have had a very secretive identity to prevent any rebels trying to recruit internally.
Okay. Well, I was just asking, like, should I have a name for the race so I can write it down in my notes? That was my question.
Githyanki, yeah. Without that, you'd know the race name.
So it is a.
Githyanki.
I'll type it out for him.
Because I couldn't hear it. You keep cutting out exactly when you say the word.
Sorry.
I don't even know how that happened.
There you go.
1 second. Githyanki, okay. Okay, I'll type it down. And I believe this would be an appropriate time. My manners do not precede me. My name is Fizzle. Mind I inquire as to your names?
You can refer to me as the Black Archer.
Okay.
I am Zard Lamb. My squire may introduce himself if he so wishes.
Oh no, I need to find him now. I did make him.
You made it.
Leader.
You made it, Pops. We know.
It was the bandit leader you chose, wasn't it?
Yep.
I did give him. Ah, there he is. The name's Hector. Hector Switch.
Thank you.
I just say to Fizzle, if I get to know you better, I might give you a. But for now, the Black Archer works.
Well, I like to give out my name. It's kind of my thing. It's fine if you don't want to share it for now.
Once I get to know you a bit better.
That sounds more than reasonable. Like I said, it is that likes to throw my name around.
I'm like, well, it's a 10-hour travel to the nearest town, but we can go there.
It's a long way to go, but that's normal for these lands. Everything is far away because dangers live outside the city.
That Meliodas fellow should consider packing up and moving his establishment closer to civilized society. He'd certainly make more of a profit there.
Do I know this Meliodas person in any way? Have I heard the name? Something?
The name of
Meliodas.
Meliodas, no.
Okay.
He
Random guy.
just seems to be a very outspoken, joyous bartender.
Okay.
And I do tell you, I wouldn't recommend pie.
Sorry, what? Wouldn't recommend what?
The food.
Okay. I'll keep that into consideration.
The ale's okay, but I wouldn't eat there.
Well, it's fine.
Only a coward backs down from a challenge.
I see. Well, I prefer not getting food poisoning if that's what you're going at. What town are we right now in? Don't remember.
So you're on the outskirts. You're about a 10-hour walk from Kayan's village.
If you pinged, I did not see.
Oh, we're around here, I'm assuming.
Aha! I saw it now.
So
Because we have to go through the forest to get there.
Okay. It's just as a region general discussion. Would it be too much to ask, like, to put the party icon there?
hold on, I've got a better map.
Okay. Hey, that's nice.
Yeah, we're on our way to Kane.
Yeah, you've been to Kane's village before as a group. Fizzle, it would be the first time you've travelled to Kane's. Your destination would have brought you here from the back end of Fort Solgals. So you would have used the mountainous line by the Fey King's Forest to kind of travel here. You know Fort Solgals is a hive of activity in terms of military presence. So there's a lot of holy knights and crowned guard and such that kind of facilitate that area, and it's constant looking for passers-by. There are checkpoints for where guards will check paperwork of individual trade routes and merchants and such. Clearly still looking for the much wanted killers or the murderers of the king, as well as other such criminals amongst the kingdoms.
Why are we heading for that specific village?
Well, Cayen's you can avoid that. So Fort Solgals is at the top here. Cayen's
So
you can maneuver through the forest line and get to Cayen's without any issue.
Okay.
And we might want to go to Bernia, because there is a quest.
Bernia is a few days away, but you could get there.
Oh, we'll go to Cayen's first.
Well, there's no point in getting further away if we can reach your next destination.
Well, they know we were going to go to Bernia because we were talking about doing a quest with them last week there.
Let's get to Kane's, get what we need there, and make a decision. Worst case scenario, the three of us can proceed to Bernia, and I can have my squire deliver a message back to the others to meet us there.
Indeed.
Take you to doctors, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kane's village makes more sense to me.
And I got a dagger and a scimitar to sell. Unless you use daggers and scimitars, I say to the
Who, me?
Yeah.
I do not use weapons most of the time.
Good to know.
I prefer not to be too close to the enemy, but if I have to, I will.
I'm the same way.
Okay.
We're just chatting on our way there.
Do keep in mind my abilities of a support role. I do not enjoy killing people if I can avoid it, to be honest. But trust me, I will melt a person's face. Again, I apologize for that. I will melt a person's face off if I have to, but I try to avoid it.
We don't always kill ourselves. Better thing is to knock unconscious and deal with that later.
We'll see how it works out.
You know, knock them unconscious, get a squire.
Like, sure.
Okay.
And growing army.
So you guys travel for a bit. As I say, is a 10-hour travel, so it creeps over the afternoon period nearly. You get there just as midday is in full swing. Some of the shopkeepers, as you remember, are a lot more silent than normal. You do, as you make your way into the Kane's village, you do see out in the fields in the distance 2 recognizable figures working on their crop. They have like one or two other work hands with them, but you can tell that the workforce is severely diminished.
I will head to the nearest shop because if I remember, there was one.
You have a blacksmith, yeah, the dwarven owner, who
Yeah.
who
So I'm
introduced
gonna
you
try
to.
and sell the dagger and scimitar too.
Okay.
Sorry, I cut out there for a moment. Where are you headed to?
The smith.
Alright, that is also where Zartlam was planning to go, so that works out perfectly.
I just got a couple extra weapons I need to sell, so you know.
So you're attempting to sell the dagger, is it?
Scimitar and dagger.
So he looks over the dagger and kind of doesn't really seem overly impressed by it.
Shiny gold
The the workmanship, he kind of like looks over like, it's
Refresh my memory, but the scimitar and the dagger were the ones taken from the bandit leader, correct?
yeah.
He has
Alright,
no
just wanted to double check.
he has no weapons?
That is
Oh,
correct
he
at the
has more
moment.
than
That's it,
one.
yeah. So he kind of his same lazy persona. The dwarf kind of, I've seen better workmanship, but if you're looking to sell, I guess I could use it for scraps. It's probably a gold piece.
Well, I'll take it and get rid of this stuff.
And the scimitar is like, good steal. And he kind of runs his fingers like, yeah, still sharp. I guess I could part with 5 gold.
Done.
Anything else?
I look at the big guy.
Who? Look at
One sec.
Zartan.
I'm gonna tug on your shoulder and say, you might be ripping off a bit on the scimitar, just so you know.
Hey, I'll take anything. Just do not have to carry it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Zartlam's going to like pick out a hammer, some tongs, a slab of iron to use as a portable anvil. Basically, just put together a set of smith's tools to purchase.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah. Give me a sec.
You could ask also how much would it cost to trade in or replace the, the armor, or perhaps fix it here. Perhaps, maybe I can help out. I don't know, I'm not a good smith, but
I am. I simply lack the current tools needed.
I see.
Give me a sec.
Smith tools are normally like 20 gold.
But they weigh a bit.
I did put together a bloody shopping list thing, but I can't find it on my computer.
Smiths.
Page 154 of the player's handbook.
No, you can see it on Roll20, I believe. Smith tools. The item. It is
Roll20 doesn't give prices though.
8 weight. Oh yeah, it doesn't.
It's
Captain.
20 gold in the player's handbook.
Besides, this is a small town. It might not be the same price as the player's handbook.
Possibly, possibly.
I'm just trying to give him an
Idea.
where he wants to go.
Not gonna give me anything. Damn it. If I would say, regarding the economic climate here, you say, I'll give you that for 15. And you can tell by what you've picked up, it is very basic materials. You've got a very basic smith tools thing going on.
I will nod to that and then say, for an extra 5 gold, how about you recommend a few of the less basic items that would help me with working on a weapon?
Well, what are you looking to do?
Repair, maintenance, perhaps even modification once I've gotten a bit more of the hang of it.
Well, you're going to need some tapping bolts to fuse the parts together if needed. You might need some sheets of metal to cover over any holes. If it's rusty, you're going to need a wire brush. You may need some scraps of leather or anything to help pad the insides, or it really depends on how bad a shape this armor is.
Well, my current project is certainly worse for wear, and at that point I will show him the armor.
Okay, he's like, that's a piece of shit.
What kind of armor is it?
It's a full suit of heavy armor, plate armor, but it's in awful condition. I mean, you can tell that recently, possibly Zartlam has attempted to kind of brush off as much of the rust and try and buff up some of the scuffs and so on. But yeah, it's in bad repair.
Probably it's not gonna end up being a full plate of armor. Something else, most likely. I'm gonna have to remove some parts.
I imagine, depending on how well I do, it'll either be half plate or full plate once I'm done with it. But I'm sure that will come down to dice. Not to mention a lot of time.
Yeah.
But considering how expensive full plate is,
oh,
I think it's going to be worth it. And I basically say as much to the smith. It's just like, it's not in good condition now, but considering how much a fresh suit costs, I think it's worth taking the time.
If you think
project.
so.
I can respect that.
You've certainly got more oomph than I have. I couldn't be bothered with that. But I'd say keep your eyes out for what I recommended. I've not got many wire brushes that haven't been used. You can have the one that's over there. It's a bit tattered and won't give the best results, but you can have that for nothing.
I'll nod and take him up on that offer.
Yeah, you can add that to your smith tools. You've got a nice little wire brush that will remove any kind of like rust and so on, but it might take double the length of time removing the rust, and a full brand new wire brush would do the trick.
I'm like, I'm gonna go.
I'd also like to just to add to that, just spend, maybe not here, but as we spend time in town, spend 10 gold to buy that much of just scrap metal and leather and such, so that I have materials ready for repairs and such, and don't have to.
Yeah. Give me a sec. Hold on.
Just write repair materials.
Basically.
Sure. I'll be right back. I'll be AFK for one.
I'm gonna go to the farmer that I know.
DM stepped away for a moment, so hold on there.
What? I'm not running.
I don't want to.
Hey, Nick.
Hi, sorry.
I'm gonna go to the farmers that I know.
Okay.
There was one last thing I wanted to buy at the Smiths, if I can take care of that first. I would like to buy a pair of plain but serviceable daggers.
Plain.
Wow. Good job, Zach. Good job.
A pair of plain but serviceable daggers.
Like.
Okay. kind of you can see that he has like a racking, almost like a test tube rack, and you can see there are several like types of knives, blades, and so on, from chef blades to daggers. And he's like pulls out two, and he's like, "These do," and they look regular blades, regular hilts, brown leather wrapping around the hilt.
What happened to Loopy? What
Back.
happened to Loopy?
I don't know, darling.
Don't know what happened. I don't know.
And how much does he want for the pair?
Give me a sec. Rectify my child's needs.
No worries.
She wants some weird TV program on.
Nick, got to do that just like me. Well,
It's like, I can do it better.
There you go. I really need to find me bloody sheet. So he kind of hands out and he's like, I say 3 gold pieces a pop.
I'll hand them over, and then I will give the pair of daggers to my squire and say, may not be quite as effective as what you had before, but until you've spent some more time thinking things over, I feel that this is a suitable compromise. After all, I wouldn't expect you to, if we do send you back with a message, I wouldn't expect you to do so.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, I will buy the pair of daggers and hand them to him, and that's the last thing I want to do with this.
Cool.
And I'm gonna go to the farmer's house that we know.
I pretty much tag along wherever they go, keeping an eye out
Yeah,
what's
no
happening.
worries. I'm gonna give you access to the bandit leaders sheet, Salem.
Alrighty.
Roll initiative.
There we go.
Okay, you're gonna have control of Hank.
Hector, actually.
And he doesn't have the full amount of hit points, so we will do.
I can add the daggers in if you want to start helping the others out.
Yeah. He's only got 20 hit points there. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you go to the farm there, Raylon.
Yep.
What you do?
I approach the wife and husband and say greetings.
The farm, this is where the family that you fought the wolves for.
Yep.
Okay. It's you. You've returned.
Yes,
It's
I've come
probably not a good time for you to return. You are aware there are Crownsguard out looking for you and your companions.
They're not with us.
It's probably for the best, but still, I would recommend a low profile.
We're passing through to Burnia, so I thought I'd bring you a gift. As I produce a bottle of Burnia ale to them.
Nope.
Thank you. If your companions are not with you, where are they?
At a tavern not far from here.
The tavern that where we met you.
Yes.
You may need to alert your friends. I believe there are some Crownsguard and an apprentice Holy Knight who are approaching the tavern.
Oh. Fun times for them, I guess.
Well, they
just-
went off in that direction, and someone mentioned something about the
Maybe we should
tavern.
have taken care of the body before we left, or they can use it as an excuse that he did everything that I assume that you have done.
Well, you've only missed them by a few hours. I'm surprised you didn't pass them on your way.
Luckily enough, we've been here before, so I knew the quickest route and the
Okay.
more hidden route to get here. I'm like, well, I hand him the bottle. Yeah, I guess we better warn them, I guess.
Hopefully you'll be able to get there before they do. That, of course, we're just speculating that's where they went. There was talks about the tavern. A handful of guards and a rather large male said he was an apprentice Holy Knight, and he was trying to track down a criminal recently been tracking. I don't know much more than that.
Alright.
Well, I assume we're heading out of town regardless, so it as well. I believe we should at least deal with the issue of for the tavern keeper, regardless whether they can cook or not.
I go to Zartan, I'm like, what do you want to do? Burn you and send your messenger to warn them, or go and aid them?
Well, they do have a head start on us, and regardless of their methods, those back at the tavern have been of assistance to us. And more to the point, it seems that these upstarts think that they can cross us without any sort of consequence, and that just won't do.
No, it won't. Alright. Let's head that way then.
Why are they looking for you?
They're not looking for me.
Oh,
They're looking
then
for one of our they're looking for one of our companions who got a bit overzealous in carrying out the letter of the law.
I see. That is never good. Law is the law, but you can sometimes turn a blind eye if it results in
Especially when it's a 12-year-old.
a 12-year-old. Excuse me, they killed a 12-year-old.
No. The law that he enforced was from 12 years ago.
Ah, an old law. Well, I've seen older ones. Like I said, I have no qualm with that. It's just that, sometimes better to just ignore the fact and
Like, it's more the words he used as he did it.
ah,
The laws are created for a reason. They bring order and structure and help us define our roles in society.
true.
However, when someone claims to uphold the law and does not act through it, or represents the law but does not have the power to uphold it, well
Then I see how it would be problematic
then
for.
they need to be put in their place.
Well, a time for everything. Let's deal one issue at a time, shall we?
The biggest
It's
problem
me
he
to
did
do
was
it, Spinny.
really make a name for himself. He just came into a random town and beheaded someone right in the middle of town.
Ah, well,
That wasn't the wisest choice.
that doesn't usually bring fame. More like infamy.
There you are.
More like royal guards on you.
Ah,
But
well then,
regardless, I think we should head back and deal with these before they reach the tavern.
indeed.
Yeah, I assume we're discussing this on our way.
I sympathize with the
Yes,
tavern
it's
keeper.
wrong. What you doing?
So,
What are you doing?
you head back?
Daddy.
Well, slowly start going up.
Yeah, sure, no worries. So, as you begin to make your way back, you the darkness begins to fall, and you head through the forest line as the curvature of the tree line and the dirt road bends. Could you all make a perception roll, please?
Perception, you
Oh,
say.
yay, I'm so good at those.
So am I.
Ah, wrong one.
Uh,
Same bonus though.
the the bandit leader's
I got
better
a
at it
4.
than I am.
Do I have to re-roll since I clicked the wrong thing even though it's the same bonus?
Sorry?
I rolled persuasion instead of perception, but it's the same bonus.
If it's the same bonus, it doesn't matter, it's fine. Okay. So, Roland, you can hear several sort of snarlings and another kind of growl. Different beasts seem to be some sort of altercation around as the road bends round the corner. And you hear a recognizable bear-like sound, and you hear the chittering of like hound-like sounds.
I have my bow at the ready.
I don't need a weapon.
So,
Are they fighting somebody?
doesn't seem to be fighting. Sounds more like agreeable, like
Nodding and gesturing.
yeah. So as the road bends round, your bow at the ready, you see a large bear and 4 wolves tearing chunks out of 2 bodies, seemingly look to be Crown's Guard of sorts.
Okay.
Nice.
And as you come round the corner, they stop feasting and each look at you.
Tasty.
Zartlim's gonna pull his great sword out and say, "It seems we have to put these mutts in their place."
Well then. I make a quick gesture and I make a fiery potion appear.
Okay.
Then I would like to activate my jump and leap at the nearest wolf.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Do we need to roll initiative
You
before
will need
that?
to. You can each. Those of you that made me aware that you was readying your action can most certainly take a.
Alright. Stand back
surprise
for a
round.
second, I say.
So me, essentially?
Well, I'm kind of leaping up in the air already, so whatever you're gonna do it fast before I hit the ground.
Well, I'll try. But how do I select my token here?
Oh, you might not have access to it. Hold on.
You have to drag and drop your token.
I don't
Also
have...
make sure.
No, it doesn't have control. Give me a second. I'll thing it.
Also make sure you click on the token that's over by the
Yeah.
wolves, not the one in the inn.
Yeah, I'm
There
gonna
you go.
do
You
that.
should be able
I
to
can
do
do
that
now. I'll also add my stats on it in a second. How do I... There we go. Hope it works. Initiative. I got a 19. Wow, I'm definitely going before you. So yeah.
Give me a
Is this like an action before the initiative count or in the initiative count?
This
So I
will
know
be before the actions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will check a fire potion right here, which would hit everyone.
Okay.
Whoops, wrong button. It's like 50. Yep, it's 15 across. It's this square plus 5 squares from it. So by my calculation, it is exactly
Not
15.
not 5 squares, 5 feet from it.
Sorry, 5 feet from it. Language barrier. Or other misused word.
No worries.
It's a 5-foot radius, I believe. It's the
Indeed.
alchemical fire.
Yep, it's on my sheet. And I shall do that 1 second. They make a DC save
Okay. Yep.
or take 6 damage. Nice.
Deck save.
Not
Or,
bad.
or it might miss because it's a do or die situation with the chemical fire. At least 4. Oh no, actually 4. Let's see how it was worded.
Yeah, the alchemist fire is all or nothing. It's the alchemist acid that does half on a success.
I need to check. I think the AoE happens.
So you'd hit
One
two of them.
save.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
Three.
It's do or die.
Four. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them succeed and 1 of them fails.
No, only the 4 wolves, not the
Oh,
bear.
only the 4 wolves. Okay. So three succeed and 1 fail. So this one here fails.
So one of them takes 6 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna shoot the bear.
Since I didn't specify what I was leaping at, can I say that I leap towards the bear as it's the biggest
Sure, I'll
target?
allow it.
And I'm just gonna shoot.
Athena would go before me though, so.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure 20 hits, so 6 piercing.
And who are you shooting at? Sorry, Roland.
The bear.
The bear.
Might be a good idea to take out the small fries.
Some more lemon, please, Daddy.
In a minute, I'll do it.
I'm trying to weaken it slightly for the first
I
guy
want
who's
some.
next.
I want some lemon. Some more lemon, please.
Oh, and yeah, we're not initiative yet. Okay.
Then I believe mine would come in.
Pretty sure an 18 is gonna hit the bear.
I'm just waiting for confirmation.
Yeah, 18 will hit.
And I will make that a smite.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
Ooh, and let me just double check something. Yes, I did take that. I have the great weapon fighting style, which means I get to reroll the 1 on that damage.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh.
that's 14 points of slashing damage and 8 psychic. So 22 damage total.
Nice.
Love this fighting style.
So the bear does kind of grunt and kind of take a step back. It's like, okay.
I just sense another alchemist fire going at the wolves.
Yep.
So now we enter initiative. So Fizzle.
Just checking how much distance is. I'm just gonna take a step to the side. Like here, hiding behind this guy. And I'm gonna check a fire potion in the middle of them again.
Okay.
They need to make another dex save. This
Yeah.
is a chemical fire,
Okay.
or take another 4 damage.
1, 2, 3,
No.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is. And what's the DC on that? Sorry, was
14.
14.
It's enchant. I
2
might.
succeed and 2 fail.
Nice. Question is which ones?
Hold on, we'll do. Oh, I'll do that. Is it 4 damage? So this one, the one that took the damage previously, yelps out and kind of starts to limp, and the one in front of him gets blasted, but kind of seems okay about it for now. Yeah, so this one here and this one here. Okay.
And I want to do one more thing, if you allow me to. I want to, if it's possible, to hold my bonus action for one of our allies if someone engages on them, like either this guy or this guy. Can I do that? If not, I'll use it now.
I'm okay. I'm usually okay with holding actions.
What?
Holding bonus action, I think, is a bit more advanced. So I will say not this time.
Okay, no problem. I'm asking. So I'm gonna cast Shield of Fate on this thing,
Okay.
on this guy.
Oh, good, because his AC isn't that great.
So he has +2 to his AC. You might want to take a note.
Yeah. So that
Will
makes
do.
him 17.
And
yeah.
I am going to tell him to, don't worry, we'll back you up. And I'll tap him on the back. Go! Suicide.
Okay. Roland.
I'm gonna shoot the bear since it's the only one I really have sneak attack on right
Okay.
now.
I will say I have concentration now.
Does a 16 hit the bear?
A 16 does hit the bear.
For a total of 11 damage.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Considering
Bear
And
kind
then
of grunts out again in pain.
can't really hide anywhere.
No, there's a bit of a clearing here, so the trees are a little
you
bit
could still move
further away.
to the side, so you
Yeah.
don't get flanked.
There we go.
Okay. Hector.
You want me to go ahead and control him?
Yeah, you can do. He's your squire.
Alright, in that case, he's gonna pull his daggers and
Of course, Canon.
decide that the guy with the great sword's probably good on his own. So he's gonna, and he isn't eager to rush up against the wolves. So he's gonna stay where he is and hold his action to attack when the wolves get in melee with someone,
Sure.
and just kind of protect the alchemist to cast a protect.
Yeah, no worries. Then it is the wolf's turn, so they're all going to.
Oh,
They're all gonna howl and rush towards both Hector and Fizzle.
Well, the
So do you
first
wanna
one to
do
get
your-
melee is getting. First one to get melee is getting 3 dagger attacks at it.
Yep.
well,
Stab, stab.
try to attack until it dies. You know, if it dies, move to the next one.
I'm guessing an 11 doesn't hit, but does the 12?
The 12 does not hit. No.
Even the 12,
Alright.
damn. It's more
The
than
15 does, though, correct?
Yes.
So 6 piercing damage.
Which one was that on?
The first
The first one you moved.
This one.
one
Yep.
that was already injured.
Probably.
Yep. That one was 6. Ooh. So yeah, he gives out like a and then goes. So each of the dogs then attack 1, 2, 3, 4. The two flanking Hector. One bites at the ankle, the other tries to bite at his chest region, like his waistline. The same for Fizzle. One goes for your wrist, and one goes for your ankle.
I'm gonna ask, do they have advantage because of back tactics?
Of flanking as well. So yeah.
Oh, it's either or.
Yeah. So you get 24 for both both Hector's bites are 24.
Nothing he can do about that.
Does a 16 hit you, Fizzle?
Yes, it does.
And does a
16 does.
15 hit you?
No, it doesn't. So I need
Okay,
to make
so
a
that's what?
concentration save.
Strength saving throw DC 11, and the same goes for Hector.
Hold on, for him for both attacks. And for
No,
me
just the
for
one
one
that
of-
hit. Just the one that hit.
For me, okay.
How much damage
Hector takes. Oh god, I'm gonna need a calculator.
That's my other question. I got a natural 20 on my set.
And what was the DC? Because
It's
Hector
11.
did roll a 4.
11.
Okay, so yeah, he's good.
6 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 equals 26 points of piercing damage to Hector.
He is unconscious then.
26 points of damage!
They critted on both their rolls for
Shit.
Hector. And we'll do the one that got you. 10 piercing damage from you, Fizzle.
Okay, 1 second.
And you're fine. You're not knocked prone. You've made
Well,
the save on that.
here's the thing. He's unconscious. So does the Shield of Fate fade?
I believe so. I
think so
don't
too.
know
I
how
don't
is it worded.
No,
Hold
he's
on.
not concentrating on it. Fizzle's concentrating on it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it stays until Fizzle goes unconscious.
Okay, well,
Okay, I need to make a con save in that
Yep,
case.
no worries.
1 second. I'll find it. Con save, con save. I am good at those at least. 11. How much damage? So yeah, I make it. I need to make 10 in this situation.
Okay, cool.
Also, how much damage I did? Took 10 or 11.
For you,
How much?
you took 10 piercing damage.
Right, because there was too many rolls and I forgot to add
Yeah,
it.
no, it's
I was trying to check how many spell slots I have because I didn't know. Yeah, okay, I got it.
I'll also snip that into the chat because I think that's just ridiculous how that managed to get 2 crits one after the other.
Advantage is powerful.
Oh, I'm not doubting you. It's just like
No,
holy
no.
cow.
Yeah, I know.
No, he just wants to post it because he's bragging, basically.
Okay, so yeah, and then the bear, by Zartlam and being attacked by Zartlam additionally as well, will swipe with its claws with one almost across as to go across your chest, and then like try and bite into the top of your shoulder. So one and that one. Fortunately for you, he hasn't got advantage on this, but we'll see.
I can't see. Okay.
Does a 16 hit?
16 is meat to beat.
Okay. So that's 9 piercing damage. As the claws swipe across your chest, you kind of like suck your chest in and manage to miss the sharp claws swiping across. But as you do, you kind of hunch yourself forward, and he manages to gape his maw into the top of your shoulder. Zartlam.
Not bad for a beast. Now let's see how you like my fangs. And I will take another swing at it.
Okay.
Guessing a 23 hits. And I will make that another smite.
Nice. Yeah. How do you want to finish him off?
Bedhead.
Well, I already said it was going to be a smite, so yeah, 22 points of more points of damage. As he's got his head, his teeth buried in my shoulder. I bring up one hand to grab its head, bring the greatsword up one-handed, and bring it down on its neck.
Wicked. Sorry, let me just deal with my child demanding lemon.
No way.
Lemons? Really? Interesting.
Give me a sec. Right, come on out.
Probably supposed to be lemonade, but
Maybe. I don't know. Like, not a lot of people eat lemons. Like, my father loves lemons. He uses, basically slices lemons, pours some sugar on them, and eats them like that.
So it's sort of like
Interesting.
Yeah. It's nice. I like it that way too, but I would prefer eating an orange to a lemon. You know.
I prefer to slicing up an apple.
Like I said, I prefer eating other fruits to a lemon. Or rather fruit.
One
believe
way
that
to
is
put
the
a smile
plural.
on her face by putting chocolates in a bowl for her. Okay, so bears down.
Yep. And then I'm going to turn around, see that the squire's being torn apart by wolves, or
It's
about
fine,
to be
I
at
got 'em.
least, and come over here and say, I believe you have something that belongs to me. And on the way, I will cast Shield of Faith on my.
Okay,
That's it for my turn.
wonderful. Fizzle, surrounded by
Right.
wolves.
I am going to. Well, let's see.
I
I'm
think
gonna bend down and cast Cure Wounds on this guy.
Yay!
Saving the NPC.
Fine, I got other ways to heal. Let's see how long he can survive. Achievement unlocked. 3 turns.
you just want someone else to get attacked except you.
Yeah, I don't want 4
I
things
mean-
attacking me.
Isn't that the purpose of NPCs? I mean,
You-
Where is my spell? Ah, yeah, it's on another thing. Cure Wounds, level 1.
Okay,
Ooh, 11 points of healing,
nice.
nice.
and he should be up now. I
Well,
cannot
still
cast.
prone, but
Yeah,
have to
but he's
stand
not.
before the wolves.
They have advantage on him anyway, so. But yeah, since I cannot do anything with a bonus. Oh, hold on, maybe I can. Just a sec. I think I have one more spell that I can do as a bonus action. Let me check.
Yep, you
Mm.
can just step through it.
you can.
Yeah, but
you can-
look, it's
you
in
can-
combat. It's hard because after it I need to drink it.
Yeah, you pull it out as a bonus action, but then it's an
Yeah.
action to drink it.
I will pull it. Well, I will do it because like I can do it for free right now.
Sure.
So I'll take the sweet step potion right now.
Okay,
It lasts for a minute or so.
sure. Okay,
Yeah, that's my turn.
Roland.
I'm just gonna shoot one of the injured wolves by the alchemist.
Yeah, I suggest one that's singed.
The two weaker looking ones are actually the ones that were attacking Hector.
Mm.
One day 3.
Alright, guess I'm gonna shoot the one.
That one wasn't that originally hit. It was in the back. That
Yeah,
one that
no,
took
that
6
was to the
damage.
that was the side one, and that was the front one.
Okay.
No, I guess I'll shoot this one.
Okay.
Boing, oing, 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 oing.
Nope.
And miss.
Are you sure you're going to?
Yeah.
Might want to move again.
That's what I did. Oh, and bonus action. Dash!
You might find something you don't want to find there.
you might well do. Okay. So, yeah. Okay.
They're within 80 feet of my bow.
Bandit,
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Bandit
checking how far.
waking groggily while being healed.
Yeah, he will
You're
stagger back to
okay.
his feet and see that he's alive but still surrounded by wolves, and that one seems slightly more distracted than the rest. So he's going to go after the one that he's got flanking on.
Sure.
A advantage.
Indeed.
Roll. Roll your boat.
Oh, not quite enough.
Dagger.
I believe the 16 and 23 will hit though.
Yes, they will.
Are you whispering your rolls? Because I don't see them.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're automatically
sorry.
whispered.
I will have to fix that on his sheet, but yes, I did. So that's 2 of the 3 attacks hit, and they both hit for 5 piercing.
Yeah.
Hit until
So
you kill.
one is down.
Nice.
with the first. Did you want the second attack to go elsewhere without the advantage, I guess?
It's a good idea.
Oh, if I can, then yeah, I'd put it at one. I'd put it at the other one next to him.
Yeah, no worries. No problem. And I'll keep the same damage, so that's one. So yeah, two of those fall to their limp floors.
Yay!
And then it's the wolf's turn, and
Oh, shit.
the only two left will continue to attack the alchemist.
Shit. Oh, it's a brief appearance.
Hey, I tried.
So does a 13 hit?
No.
No,
13
but a
does not.
24 I'm guessing will.
Yeah, 24 will hit.
And
So
that's a critical.
That's a critical.
Another one?
So that's a DC 11 strength saving
Strength.
throw, and you take 10 points of piercing damage.
Whew, I'm still alive. And I got a natural 20 again on my save.
Nice.
So, right back at you.
He's
So
like,
both-
yay, you didn't crit with an attack roll.
Exactly. I don't really make attack rolls, so
It's okay. A giant great sword can come down.
it's like I pretty much never attack. It's like the ultimate, pacifist. They just happen to get hit by potions.
Just clock it. Okay, well, the bears.
Well, don't worry, they won't have pack tactics in a moment here.
Zatlam.
True enough. Smack.
What does the worthless scrap?
Yup. I don't like that.
12 doesn't hit probably.
Let me just double
You gotta
check something real
re-roll
fast
the,
here.
Check if it's rolling correctly.
No.
It's got fate, haven't you?
Oh, I'm not using that yet. I'm using something a bit more guaranteed. I'm gonna make that a 20.
Nice.
A war critic.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, will that help? That
Conquest
hits.
Paladin.
Look.
Oh,
11 points of slashing damage.
which you literally, you could see, Fizzle, from your perspective, that the eyes beneath this green hood kind of narrow and look very focused and aggressive as he just swipes one hell of a swing with his blade and comes slicing down this wolf in half. The blood kind of splatters in your direction, gets a bit of your coat.
Well, that was impressive, but we still have one more to deal with.
That's it for my turn. I don't really have any bonus actions at this point.
Okay, Fizzle.
Bonus action, I'm gonna drink the Swift Step potion,
Yep.
and I'm going to chuck a acid potion. I'm gonna grab a few components, mix them into a glass vial, and chuck them into the direction of the wolf.
Okay.
It's to make a DC save. Hold on 1 second. Yes, I'll show you in chat. Ooh, damn! Or takes 10 acid damage.
And that's a dexterity saving throw, yeah. An 8, it fails. So that's 10 points of acid damage, yeah?
Yep.
Still stands, you could hear the hissing of the acid pouring off of its fur, and some of
Right,
it
let
was
me
obviously
check something.
melting down to the to its skin.
Right. Well, I can't really. I'm just gonna swing around it.
Okay.
If I can. Without leaving its,
Yeah.
attack range.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna shoot it.
Okay.
that's what I do.
Pew.
Yeah.
Does a 14 hit?
Yeah,
That
14
should-
hits. You don't even need to roll damage. It's literally got one hit,
17.
one hit point
Probably
left.
1 damage.
Yeah.
I
So-
shoot it through both its eyes.
So, you are left with these wolf bodies, the hunk of a bear, and these two Crown's guards
You there, Squire.
in bits.
Come here.
I'm going to gather half my arrows, so 2 more arrows. But
Come here, Hector. I got something for you. Here, drink this.
Sir? And he kind of looks at you.
It's
Zartlan.
better than nothing.
Zartlan will say, "Don't worry. If it has any negative side effects, he'll be joining the wolves quickly enough."
I don't know where is the side. I'll drink one myself. Are we taking a rest here, or are we continuing forward?
I'm going to look at the Crown's Guard's coin pouches.
Nothing,
need to invest-
nothing of value on them.
Any written words?
The
Do you see?
the weapons that they have again are basic. There's two basic swords, short swords with them. The armor is got holes in, like any of the leathers are ripped to shreds. Their guts are hanging out. Anything that would have been of use is probably ruined. However, there is a torn bit of parchment you can just make out, and it says by orders of the Grand Master, and that's all you can kind of make out from that.
Interesting.
I grab the 2 short swords. I can tell these later.
Could possibly
Actually,
Yeah.
if I might, Roland, I think the my squire earned himself an upgrade today.
did.
Alright.
Well
Give
done,
me
Hector.
So I'll
Black Spike.
pull a short
Black Spike.
Yeah, he's pretty much the same. He's given me.
Are we taking a short breather here, or are we continuing forward?
2, 3, 4,
You do know that
5.
you roll your own healing drop for yours.
I know. I'm asking because I want to. If we're taking a short rest, I don't need to use it.
Well, we're sort of in a hurry to get back
Okay.
to the.
I'll use the healing rod then.
Yeah, you've probably got about another hour's travel to get to the inn itself.
What's
the
with these
tavern
rolls
itself.
today? Serious?
Sorry.
I got.
Damage rolls are good.
Yeah, but I have 8 HP. So yeah. Okay.
Okay, so a few hours on, you do make your way back to. Go on.
Just a quick note. On our way, I'm going to go ahead and drop some lay on hands into myself to top myself off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Why didn't you tell me you were damaged? Here you go.
A bear bit my shoulder. What more do I need
Sorry.
to say?
There we go.
14
That's
healing
the-
drop for you.
There we go. You're better now.
All right, never mind. Don't need the healing. The
That
lay on
also
hands.
needs it.
I did not. Sorry. I was gonna ask you, but.
But we did not get a short rest, correct?
Yeah.
I get my channel divinity back on a short rest. That's all I wanted to double check.
So it is now pitch black, dark. You can just make out as you travel to the tavern the lights within the tavern itself. There doesn't seem to be any guard presence or anything nearby. Perhaps you think they may have taken a different route, or they may have been and gone, or they are yet to arrive.
I walk in the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Well,
we
first
on
I'll
the
look
other
in
map
the
now?
window before I walk.
Okay. Oh, that was a long walk.
We walk in. Are they still in the tavern?
Yeah. So
I say Crown's Guard and an Apprentice Holy Knight. Wait, let's get going.
so you tell them about your altercation, and a few moments pass. About 30-40 minutes pass, and you hear at the
Do I
door.
have enough time to check if we got rid of the body?
The body seems to have been cleared away. So it's
Okay.
I go to where Meliodas is.
He's just stood in the middle of the tavern floor.
I suggest we split.
I'm going into the room where
I don't
the
have.
person is.
As you do, you can kind of peek through, and Princess seems to be still asleep. Meliodas goes, she's still resting. I wouldn't like to disturb her.
I'm going to protect her.
Malchaz
She's
will head
fine.
towards
No
the
one's going to
door
be able to
where-
get to her here. I mean, that's the only door into that room, so...
Alright, I close it.
Okay.
Can I
And
move?
Zartlan will head towards the door when the knocking starts.
And I'll get behind the bar.
Oi! You have not into the.
Oh, it's perfect
I'll-
to hide behind. Pop
Ah,
up.
thank you.
Hide
let's go
behind.
sit
Pop
over
up.
there.
Shit. I'm using it as protection.
And the door bangs again. By the order of the Grand Masters, open up!
Zartlan will go ahead and open up the door.
Okay.
No weapons drawn, but still fully equipped.
Sure.
I
Tell
have
him
my
it's a-
bow at my side.
Tell him it's a goddamn tavern.
I don't have it. I don't have an arrow of notes or anything. I have it at my side. Like I came back.
Mhm. Hold on 1 minute. So I need to set this up as well. Where is he? There he is. Yeah. Okay, so you see two heavily armed Kingsguard, both wearing shields, and they have javelins by their side. So, we're looking for a criminal may have passed through here.
I see.
Got a description.
We believe that it is actually the Princess Leona's. She was last seen wearing heavily armored suit.
And
Well, have you seen her? She's wanted for crimes against the kingdom.
Okay. Princess.
The Princess of the Kingdom's wanted for crimes against the
Is it April
That
Fools?
doesn't make sense.
and what would these crimes be?
The attempted assassination of the Grand Master. She may be the princess, but it does not mean or relinquish her from any crimes that she may commit or attempt to commit.
Interesting point you're making. But
Look, have you seen her or not?
no.
You won't mind if we come in and search the place?
Well, we're just patrons. You might want to ask the tavern keeper, not us.
Zartlan steps aside and says, I'm not the owner, don't ask me.
Yeah, we
And,
just happen to be nearby.
There's a bar.
Meliodas is like, there's no one here, just us. Would you like a beer or a pie? I can whip you up a meat pie. And they
Yeah, try the pie.
Best,
kind of
best meat pie
look back.
around in the world.
Could you all make perception rolls for me, please?
Oh, they're bamboozling us while someone is doing something annoying. Perception is this one 10 draw for me. Where the hell? Perception.
You know, the bandit captain's supposed to have a higher modifier than me, but it really doesn't feel like it.
Okay, Fizzle, as you're out the window, you can see just from like the perspective of like the moonlight, you can see like a movement of shadow, but you can't tell if it's like swaying trees or if there's someone else around.
Oh.
Before you know it, a short moment passes as if trying to like look behind you and look into the bar and try and make their own perspective of what's going on. 1 minute. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? There. You hear a scream from the back room, and you hear, "Let's go!" And there's a bit of scuffling. You're a bit late to react to this, Roland, as your perception wasn't as strong. But the door, you can hear that there's a commotion from within.
I look at Meliodas.
There's a window. I forgot about the window. Shit.
Face plant.
And they're like,
Uh,
she's round the back. Let's go.
I
And
check
they
a
rush
potion.
off.
I check a potion to this guy.
Okay.
Drink this.
The guards rush off round the back from where all the commotion's going.
I open the door.
actually, as the one in the rear
Yep.
starts to leave, I would like to throw a net.
Okay, no worries. Is there a dex save for that?
It's an attack roll, and that is a terrible attack roll. So I'm
No,
going to re-roll that with
completely
my
miss.
Fortune's Great.
Yeah. 25,
That probably hits.
25 will hit. Alright, just give me 1 second.
I gave you, by the way, a potion. You can drink it. It makes you fast.
Oh, you gave it to me?
Yeah, it said I check it over here.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were tossing something harmful to one of them, and like the
No,
guy's
no.
like, "Oh, here, this will help you."
No, I said drink this, and I tossed you a potion. You can drink it with a bonus action, which you probably have, because that was an attack.
Well, I'm sure that was kind of a surprise action thing. So
Okay. Regardless, it only requires a bonus action for you.
well, I mean, I've got this guy in a net. I don't think it's going to be too difficult to catch up.
True.
But once I'm
Well-
done with him, that'll prove useful.
It only lasts a minute, then it disappears. Then it loses its value.
I'm sure it'll take less than a minute for me to deal with this guy.
True enough, just making it obvious.
Yeah, higher levels nets aren't very good, but low levels they can be surprisingly.
So okay,
Disruptive.
you trap one of the fleeing guards under a net. Kind of as he falls under this net, he kind of looks back in your direction, a bit confused about what's all going on. Roland, as you open the door, there seems to be like a stall or something behind the door, kind of stopping it from opening all the way. But you can make out that the window that was in the bedroom is fully open, and the nets from within are kind of waving around, and you can hear distant screams of the princess in the distance.
Alright, I'm just booking it. I'm just like, movement, bonus action, dash, get outside.
No worries.
And
And
if I see the other running guard, I'll shoot him with.
Okay,
Probably
please.
gone.
Yeah, I would say
Around
he's
the
had
corner.
quite a bit of time to get around the bend and get around the corner.
At this point, I'm gonna follow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to let them lead the charge as I'm already drawing my sword
At
to
that point,
finish this guy off.
Mhm.
if I can't shoot him, I'll just use my action to run further.
1 sec. I just want to get.
Oh, and there's the rest of my movement speed to follow the route about here somewhere.
Just need to get some tokens set up.
I also
Like Spike.
Sorry.
sorry about that. I will also gesture for my squire to go help them as well.
Yep. Let me move all your tokens.
Might want to knock this guy out.
Oh, I'm going to straight up execute him, but
Well, he might know something. We might get something out of him. I don't know.
there's spares.
True, but they might run away.
I will say for time and brevity that both Circaval and Orion are just keeping watch in case anyone returns back to the tavern.
Okay.
And I need
Or intercept any reinforcements they get.
Indeed. I think that's everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll highlight the area. As you run around the back of the tavern and head in the direction to the rear, you see you start to run. You can see them all running in the distance. There seems to be like a cliff clearing, and they've run themselves into a dead end.
Great, cornered animals.
Oh, that's not worked at all. Sometimes this revealing areas is alright, and others it's a bloody pain. So you guys see 6 of these crown guards, and you see a much taller, stocky looking individual. Some of you go ahead and roll a history check quickly.
Should I roll as I stay behind to deal with this guy, or should I
That's
not?
a natural one.
I will say for time you manage to swiftly deal with him as you catch up to the rest.
Alright.
I got a 1. +6, but a 1.
Okay. Roland, you recognise him. You don't remember his name, but you do recognise him. This is the guy you will see.
This is familiar. Oh, he's a real dick as far as I remember.
Ah, it's another.
You cannot.
So-
I just look and go, huh, the worthless squire actually climbed up it.
2 of them are holding the princess captive as he stands behind them. And
I said.
go on.
Oh, never mind. I was just lagging out there.
The Holy Knight steps like abruptly and says, "By order of the Grand Master, I'm placing you under arrest, Princess Leonis. The rest of you, get gone before I choose to end you as well. I am, of course, the prince. I am, of course, the apprentice knight, known only as Twigo."
End me.
The little pipsqueak Twigo, got you.
I am the one who ends those that cross my path.
Okay, all roll initiative.
Shit! This one turned well. Oh, yeah. This will not end well.
I have
It
a
really
question.
won't.
The princess counts as an ally to me, right?
Well, you haven't established an alliance yet at this stage, so
But
unfortunately, I wouldn't
I
let that
served
count.
her father, and I treat her as.
Do I assume we never had?
I'm trying to use her.
Well, this is the first time she's actually properly laying eyes on you each, as the first encounter of you was, of course, her falling unconscious at the door.
I'm trying to use her.
And I know exactly what you're trying to do. You
Is,
don't get away with it that easy.
Why not?
is she unconscious?
No, she's awake at this stage. She's both her wrists are being held by two of the Crown's Guard next to her. Okay, so
Holy crap! Hector actually crit his initiative.
Well, this 110 well amount of spells and amount of HP. Because we never had a chance to rest, and there's no short or long rest, so yeah.
Testing. Can you hear me?
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, everything went haywire for a moment there. Sorry. Oh wow, I crit initiative with him.
Yep.
All right, so apparently he's eager to prove himself after the wolf fiasco. So he's gonna charge the nearest guy with his new short swords.
Okay.
Is here like a wielder thing?
Yep.
Does he get bonus AC?
Nope.
Nope.
He's essentially a bandit.
One of those hits.
All right. Oh, 9 piercing damage.
Okay.
Max damage on the one that does it.
Kind of
So-
literally just you see the blade cut through the tabard and reveal that his chainmail. He just seems to like pickle off like all the ringlets of his chainmail.
Hey! Sir Cavell is here.
I'm about to get back up.
Is he now?
Yeah, he's in the chat. Just
Hey.
He could just be listening in.
No, it's fine.
hey, we're in a battle. So
And it's going bad. Might we ask for help if possible?
Oh, it just started.
So, okay. So yeah, you slice through and you kind of like, as I say, like picking out the rings of his chainmail. You hear like the ping, 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 ping as the blade cuts across, revealing his chest and his torso. Okay, Relon.
I'm just gonna shoot the guy that just got stabbed,
Okay,
or attempt to.
sure.
Does a 20 hit
It does.
for a total of 12 damage?
Yeah, one goes into his shoulder and he kind of looks at it. The other goes into like the side and he just he goes down.
I go into these trees and bonus action hide.
So he's dead? He's out?
That one is
Nice.
I'm gonna bonus action hide in these trees, or attempt to.
Oh, 22 stealth. Damn.
Expertise.
Yep.
My whole point is get sneak attack in. And there just happen to be trees in this battlefield, which I'm happy about. Because I can use my strafing tactics.
The question is he going to focus on the people who just took out one of his soldiers or the person who called them out before battle started?
Well, we were
Well-
about to find out.
He unhitches and pulls a bow at Relon.
I have a 22 stealth, you can see me.
You stealth, did you? Sorry, I didn't even see
Yep,
the stealth.
22 stealth.
Okay. In that case, he'll go for the one that's just taken his man down. So, do. 18. for
Is it?
for minimal damage for Hector for
Did
two
you
points of piercing damage.
did you
Who
heal
you
him
said?
up?
Yeah, I did.
11 and a 3, so it's 14 HP, probably.
Yeah, now it's 12.
Okay. Zartlam.
I'm going to completely ignore the base guys. And let's see how far can I move forward? About
Dangerous, 50 feet.
as he moves forward, draws his great sword, points it at the. Did you say 1 second?
No.
No.
Yeah, points it at the leader and declares, "Face me, coward, and I shall show you the truth behind the shears of Atropos."
Probably not a good idea to do everything.
Oh yeah, Zarlam's completely ignoring the basic guys. He's looking straight at the
Oh yeah.
boss.
Okay.
Whether
His
the
eyes
boss recognizes the name I just dropped is another matter. And then I will hold my action to attack. If he accepts my challenge, or if he
let me-
sends the guards to try
Let me
and swarm.
remind you of something. You have the potion that you can drink as a bonus action that gives you 20 more movement speed. So,
Yeah, but it'd be kind of awkward to try and charge through where they're holding the princess.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that you might want to use it since you're not using your bonus action regardless. It lasts for a minute.
Actually, I'm using my bonus action for something else before holding my action.
Okay.
I'm using my last spell. I'm using my last spell slot for a shield of
Go and
faith.
Get your cup. Get your cup.
But yeah,
Okay. His eyes do look at you directly, and they do narrow. Oi. Right, 1 minute. Let me just deal with this child. You are a rat bag.
It's actually pretty simple to introduce him in this situation because we're behind the tavern now, and Circavel is in the tavern.
Yeah,
The
no.
princess got.
The princess got cake, and now we're trying to rescue
Yeah,
her.
we're just like you're literally behind the corner.
You are cheating.
Like,
rat bag.
I'm just behind a corner.
Yeah.
A horse.
You're literally like less than a minute away from.
My kingdom for a horse.
And Pavas is dead.
He could probably jump out of the window and turn here, probably.
Oh, Pavas was a traitor all along.
Who?
Pavas, the Minotaur.
Yeah.
He was communicating.
I fizzled the goblin, smeared his face across well, not so freshly polished floor.
I knew it. Never trust horned men.
Okay, so the guards' turn. The two do surround you there, Zartlam, and one does come closer to Hector also. Just wondering if... Yeah, these are going to come and sort of in front of where the princess is, which I think will give them reach.
If they're spears or something like that.
Yeah.
That's less than 10 feet.
But I think I could use them as that.
Spears have 5 feet. It's halberd.
So, yeah. 2 long swords either side, 2 spears in the back. All at you, unfortunately, Zartlam.
all right.
This one turned well.
My AC is 18 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not impossible with advantage to be hit.
Oh, not at all.
Only 2 of them have advantage.
So,
It's pretty damn high considering our level.
Speed got 20 on the first one, 17 on the second one. They're 2 spears. The longsword 23 and a 5. So one short sword and 1 spear by the looks of it. The spear
That's correct.
is for 5 piercing damage. And the sword is for 14 slashing damage.
Ouch.
Oof.
Yeah. Do something to
So
like
5 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
That is 2 concentration checks.
And the one guard that went closer to Hector.
Yeah, that's
Nope,
a
my
fail.
shield of faith is gone. That also triggers my held action, though.
If you had a held action, I didn't recall, but yeah, it would.
Yeah, I was just holding my action to attack if
Yeah,
somebody came into melee.
yeah.
So
no
the
worries.
sword guy that hit me for 14 there.
Yep.
Wow. Never mind.
Okay.
Alright. Do you want me to roll initiative and join the fight, or how do
Yeah, you can. I would say you have a bit of a delayed to join the team, so you kind of rush out, realizing there's quite a lot of commotion going on. You're thinking that the tavern is actually more safe than you initially thought. So I would say yes, go ahead and roll initiative.
Might be a good idea to, the first time to go like that doesn't matter. It's close to it.
11.
Yeah, we're almost at the end of the first round, so it's perfect timing.
We are, yeah.
And we were at Kingdom Guards Fizzle. 1, 2,
Yeah, fizzle.
Yep.
There you go.
Right. Right. Let me just measure the distance. Right. I'm gonna go right here. Attempt to use the trees as cover and chuck a acid potion at this guy.
Okay.
Acid. Where is acid?
Mount
Why can't-
your ugly face.
Ooh, 14 save or 8 acid.
Okay.
Why can't we be 5th level? I would have Misty Step if we were at 5th level.
Why couldn't we be at 4th level and have slightly more hit points?
Because it's only session 3 or something.
Let's just get Misty Step as a racial thing at 5th level.
If we survive this time, maybe.
Yeah.
Sir
Well,
Cabal's
not all the way
here.
to 5th.
We'll live.
Oh yes, Sir Cavilla's here.
So that was a 17.
17 save.
Is it half or is it?
No,
pass
it
it?
doesn't. No, it's do or die.
We're rolling really good
A
rolls
creature
today.
must succeed. Well, the first ones fail most. A creature must succeed on dex save or take acid damage. An object, yeah, it's do or die
No worries.
basically. And I will make a swift potion. Did I make one last turn? I did. I'm gonna drink it this time. No, there's no another. I'll make one. And that is my turn. I'm attempting to take cover behind the tree.
Yeah, no worries. You can go ahead and roll a stealth check just to see how.
Well, I
How
can't
well
actually
you-
hide because I'm
Okay.
not a rogue,
Okay.
but I'm trying to get
Just to-
literal cover.
sure. No worries. Okay. Bandit Hector.
He's gonna go ahead and stab the guy next to him 3 times.
Nice.
Or try to, at least. I think that's 2 hits.
I believe 23 and 24 is a decent attack.
Well, 20 hits, so yes.
So 16 piercing damage.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. The 23 does hit as well, by the way.
MVP.
Oh, no, sorry, that was you did that for both. No, sorry, it's fine.
Yeah, that was for the 23 and the 24.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the 8 misses.
Yes.
He's armored.
He's not wearing armor and he has a -3 dex. You hit. What?
However, that is enough to put that one down. So he does.
Oh.
With
In that case,
flurry of flashes, He swipes and takes that guard down. No hassle.
In that case, he's going to rush up to support the guy who's gave him a second chance. Can't actually do anything yet, but he'll provide flanking.
Yep.
Okay. Roland.
Well, I'm hidden from these guys, so guy with advantage. With my bow, I'm no a 20 hit. For 9 piercing and then bonus action hide.
Ouch, minimum sneak attack.
Oh, 15 stealth. Move slightly to symbolize
So
that I'm hiding.
this time they might know where you are.
They might. They might not.
Okay. The Holy Knight, the apprentice Holy Knight Trigo will rehitch his bow and spend time to draw out his blade. And he goes, "You," and he points in your directions, Arlem. "You're familiar. No fuss. You'll still fall by my blade." And that's his action.
As a reaction, can I just call out, "Words are empty"?
Yeah. It's your turn, so you can do that, of course.
And then I'm going to go ahead and swing at the guy I have a flanking on.
Is there any chance that the princess might do anything once they're like preoccupied players, 4 people attacking one guy?
But she's a bit overwhelmed by the forces, and she knows that they are
Okay.
Crown's guards, so it's probably best in her mentality that she's like, well, if I just go along,
Okay.
they can't kill me, I'm the princess, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Alright,
I'll
so
take advantage of that.
That's 13 slashing damage.
Okay.
Because I got to re-roll the 2 there.
Yep. Nice. So that's enough to put that one down.
Oh, there's another one there. Another one bites the dust.
Fortunately, I can't really move without triggering attacks of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for my turn. Actually, you know, at this point, I will go ahead and down that swift drop potion just in case, as my bonus action, just in case it does become
Relevant.
Okay.
And that's it for my turn.
Sir Cavall, as you join the fray.
Alright. So it's like stepping outside, observing the battlefield, seeing dead people. Yeah.
Seeing
Alright.
injured party members.
Yep.
This is fine. I can help. And he will charge, let's see, 30 feet this way and provide flanking. As action, he gets up there.
Anything with a bonus action?
Bonus
Any-
action. Yeah, sure. Healing word on Darkland. Just here. For the king!
Nice, thank you. Not in single digits anymore.
Okay. So the Kingsguard now.
In these situations, it's best conserved to bring people up.
This guy just comes behind and goes, "For the king!"
And they're like super confused.
So all still focused on you, Zartlan.
Oh, at least this guy, come on.
I'm not surprised.
At least this guy. He's
However,
being like-
only 2 of them get the advantage roll from flanking.
Wait, which 2 have flanking?
This one and this one.
Okay.
Only barely.
Oh. It's a triangle, so Whichever one you pick. Kind of.
So 19 to hit. Zartlam?
Sorry, you cut out there for me.
Sorry, 19 to hit.
What? Yeah, my AC is down to 16 because my Shield of Faith fell.
That's both the spears. The sword misses.
Shit.
So that's 10 points of damage, piercing damage.
You're alive, probably.
Thanks to Cavell, I am still conscious.
Okay, Fizzle.
All right. Oops, wrong button. Let's see. I have now more movement speed. I will move about there. It's 30 feet? That's 30 feet. I will again try to use the trees as cover and chuck a acid potion to this guy.
Your mom says your face is ugly! I just sensed something like that coming from you.
For me? No? But that's another DC save or 8 points of damage.
He succeeded, unfortunately, there.
Goddamn successes! Okay. And again, I'm trying to use the trees as cover in case someone decides to shoot at me.
Okay, no worries.
That's my turn.
All right. Hector.
Stupid spearman.
Yeah, he's gonna step up behind the spearman and get flanking himself.
Yep.
Stab, stab.
Oh, let's just be glad we have a companion.
Row your boat. Maybe. Natural. No, that's a 10. The left one, right? Oh, it's advantage. Never mind.
Yep.
14?
I'm pretty sure the crit hits.
The crit does it, yeah.
And assuming the 20 does as well, then that is
Yeah.
15 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, enough to put him down.
Yes. One less.
Then he's going to circle around this way to try and put some distance between him and the big bad.
Okay. Give me a sec, guys. Hold on.
Yep.
Got to take a call.
And it seems the spearmen are the biggest threat to Zartlam, so I'm probably just gonna try and kill them.
He's surrounded. So pretty good idea.
Yeah, if I had been there from the start, I could have slept most of them, but I wasn't here, so...
Oh, you are here from the very like just turn.
Second round.
Yeah.
Trying to
But we killed quite a few of them by the time we got there.
Trying to finish where I
Oh,
was
a couple of maybe.
He's got to be careful of sleep because it also hits allies.
Yeah.
Sleep hits allies?
Yep.
Oh, strange.
It doesn't hit me. It doesn't matter how many hit points I have. I'm an elf, but
I know.
disguise the fact that I'm an elf.
Oh, wait.
I'm always wearing my hood over my ears, have a veil up over my nose, and I just try and appear human.
Well, we don't know that. Well, I don't know that.
Yeah, it's just
being a cheeky rat bag.
The humans
Most people
like, taking over.
Me.
I'm guessing most people think Zartlam is just some lanky orc or overgrown goblin.
Most people won't give it a second thought. I, however, am a red person.
Zartlam's a Zartlam. I don't care what race people are.
Oh, I've got to get bloody Valentine.
Well, it is interesting to know.
If they're helpful, then they're good. If they're not being very helpful, then they're not.
That might work in your favor then.
I just don't try and kill people.
Like I said, that might be helpful in your
Except when you're
interactions.
hummies.
It might help you in your interaction with me then.
Yeah.
You only just eat.
Heck, I speak giant.
Uh, what happened? The
Got
DM
one.
muted
Wow.
himself? Yeah, okay.
Oh, he had to answer a phone call.
Yeah, okay. Then I'll take a short break, use the loo.
Use
Might
the
be a good.
Crom?
Yep.
Use the Cromer? The Crapper?
Yeah, well, that takes a long period, I'm not like a speed crapper
Yeah.
or anything.
Okay. Cool.
I'm right back.
I'm actually gonna step away myself to get some water.
Alright.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Are you gonna
Sir
want to do
Cavan.
that? You're gonna
What
want
has
a bloody
happened?
curry. You're only just eating.
We met the goblins and killed the Minotaur. We looted the Minotaur. We went back to that farming town, got some supplies,
Can I give mummy a
found out that
kiss?
there was guards on the way to the inn from the farmer with the wolves. I gave him a bottle of ale, and then we rushed over to you, and we fought 4 wolves and a bear on the way that killed a couple of town's guards. And then we got here, and the princess got kidnapped, and then we ran back, and then you showed up.
Alright.
Oh, thank God. Nothing important.
Breaking up or not? Wait.
Now, we told you
I'll
that
let you go.
the Minotaur was a
Have you-
traitor. He had a ring that he could communicate one way with, which is now in the goblin hands because he didn't put it in another dimension.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Jen went to grab some water, and the other guy went to the washroom.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Are you catching nut up?
Yeah,
We talked a little bit about it.
Back.
The Minotaur was a traitor. He had a thing.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed that there was some sort of strange communication going on with someone else.
Something terrible with his bovine face.
And he also had a bounty with you with all of.
With all of us? No one has figured out Sir Cavell's identity yet.
Sure, we have.
What do you mean?
He all constantly goes in the name of the king. It's obvious for a holy night. I just assume you're an ex-holy knight. With how righteous you always act.
Sweet.
Never assume. Always potato.
Oh, it made it deadly obvious. I believe it was my turn when you ran off.
Yeah,
The phone call.
the Hector sliced and diced.
So, am I hidden, guy?
He's probably not paying attention from like.
He is focused on Zetam.
It's
Let
like
me have a look.
3 people here.
And had a 15 stealth.
Plus needs to pay attention to the princess not running off.
I just need to know if I have advantage.
Yeah, you're hidden. You rolled a 5.
I will
Hey!
Alright, I'm
shoot
back.
him with my bow.
Hello.
The spear person.
Yes.
22 definitely
You
hits
hit.
for
Yes.
11 damage.
For 11 is his HP, so
Which one? This one?
Yeah, the spearman.
this one here.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
the spearman.
Oh,
Well, they're all spearmen. They probably have swords as well.
yeah.
The
Oh,
blue
okay.
guy.
One of these dudes. Well, that's
As
fine.
the blue guy.
You've been rolling a lot of ones on your sneak attack damage today.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
But I rolled a 5.
Yeah, almost out of nowhere, you see this this arrow just fly out of the wooded area, almost from nowhere.
And then a 19
just-
stealth.
Yep.
Bonus
Digging.
action hide again.
This is amazing.
Cool.
That's what I do. I hide and I shoot.
So, the Holy Knight draws back his blade and he slams it across the floor. I need you all to make dexterity saving throws. That's for Hector and Zartlam and Cavell.
Alright.
And the princess.
And the princess.
Lol.
Yeah. Okay. That's all.
Look at the +1
Okay.
list.
Nice, okay.
Okay, turn it around.
We gotta wait for the
And
paladin.
then on that. Okay.
I'm not high enough level for that yet.
Yep.
Take half damage as half of the force damage as the ground around you begins to shake. Fortunately, the princess also manages to kind of force herself and keep from.
I am at 1 hit point.
Holy crap! You're at 1 hit point. However, don't.
You have lay on hands, so that's helpful.
It's an action though.
Yeah.
I was still planning to use it this turn, but holy cow, was that close?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it was something you could have probably done to force the damage away from you.
Yeah, but I'm saving that.
Okay, Zartlam, it's your go.
Zartlam's going to pretend that he's not on his last legs as he looks at this guy and says, "You're running out of men. And trash like you needs to be a lot more numerous to fight someone like me." And at that point, I will dump all 15 points of my lay on hands into myself.
Nice.
You might want to leave 1 just in case.
That's a Sir Cavell sword.
No, well, you see, I might do that if I was a nice paladin.
Okay.
I'm a conquest paladin.
Okay.
Okay. Any other actions there?
Basically, just taunting him.
No worries. Cavell.
All right.
You have
Let's see.
advantage.
Yeah.
Smacking with.
Sir Cavell points to the heavens and says, "Men can control their destinies. The reason that we are oppressed, my dear, is not a matter of fate. We cannot do anything about it.
6 seconds.
And I give you inspiration, Zarklam, and then I chunk this guy with my longsword with advantage.
Yep.
Yep, you hit.
20 to hit.
Nice.
And then
Shit.
I action surge.
Yep, 24 hit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Bang!
you make swift work of him as you like almost like saber him in the back once with your blade, pull out, and you just go in for like another.
And
Well given and inspiring
I
speech.
move up to the Holy Knight and I say, "Now choose your fate, my good man."
Okay.
They're all dead.
He's not though.
Fizzle.
Right. I hate to do this, but actually I might be able to. 1 second. I have
50 feet of movement.
roughly. So this is 30. So from this point, it's 25. 25 more speed. Okay. I'm going to 1 second, 13, 25. Okay. Gonna get closer. Check acid potion at him. Dexterity save.
Yep.
Eat acid.
5 acid if he fails to save.
He's got advantage on that. Hold on.
He's always not very good at fighting. He's not supposed to be fighting so many people.
Well, that was a nat 20 on the first.
Damn! Oh, it's only 1 because like I make 1 attack.
Yeah, no, you
Oh,
had
rather,
advantage.
one
So
sec.
yeah.
Okay, I will attempt to hide behind some trees again with the rest of my movement.
No worries.
Squire, get in there.
MVP, I tell you.
He's to be fair, he's been rolling pretty well this fight.
Yeah, MVP.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
took down 3 guards. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he took down 3 of them.
Hector.
But that guy's no ordinary guard. And Hector just saw him shake the ground with his sword, so he's gonna chuck a pair of daggers at him.
Okay,
But he's not gonna get any closer.
okay. The first one misses, second one hits.
So 5 piercing. And then he's going to back off a bit because he doesn't want to be any part of that.
He's like, he has more movement speed. He could hide in here, probably.
Okay.
That's it for his turn.
Roland?
I had a 19 stealth. Do I have advantage on this?
Let's see if he noticed you.
He's within my 80 feet, right?
Yeah, I'll just check it because we're really far away. What sort of bow is that? A short bow, a long bow?
Yeah, I'm using a short bow.
Because I know a long bow's range, but I don't remember the short.
It's 8320 for a short bow.
Yeah, yeah, it says when you roll, just I don't remember.
What was your roll? 20.
19.
19. Yeah, he doesn't notice you.
Alright, so I have advantage. I'll shoot him with my bow.
18?
Does an 18 hit him?
Yep.
If it doesn't, he has magic item.
So if it does, 14 damage.
Nice.
Okay.
That's maximum damage on the piercing.
Yeah.
So,
And then I'll bonus action hide again.
yep. No worries.
Start. That,
So,
however.
I'm noticed.
So, he kind of looks at you, Cavall, and says, "By order of the kingdom and the Grand Masters, how dare you cross my path? Taste my blade." And he gives you 2 attacks with his great sword.
I look almost offended. It's like
Battle
he
Knights.
slapped me.
Does a 22 hit?
Yeah, it hit.
And does an 11 hit?
No.
Nope. So that's 6 slashing damage.
Fiddly
Yep.
poke. I'm like, a woman hits harder than you just did. I yell at him.
Kind of, he does seem shocked by the resilience to his blade against you.
Alright.
Zartlan.
Zartlan will just step over the bodies as he moves into position. And as he passes the prince, he'll just see down at her and say, "If you can't fight, then get out of the way." As for you, don't say I didn't warn you before this all started.
Great sword versus great sword.
Yeah, 25 will hit. Nice. Good damage. So as your blade swipes across his body, kind of scraping the armor and like catching some of the more sort of fleshy parts, kind of managed to nick into his arm quite a bit. It goes in like several inches, and kind of just like ah.
And as a bonus action, I'm just going to taunt him. "What's the matter? Can't fight without your men to do the fighting for you." That's it for my turn.
Okay.
Oh,
Sir Cavall.
retaliation.
Shit.
Clunk him over the head.
Well, I mean, that's what I gotta do. Let's see. Second wind. So Camille takes a deep breath and heals
Heals.
for 3 hit points.
Hey.
And then he slaps him with his long sword.
With the blood side of the blade.
Yeah,
It's
with
like
the blood
slap,
side.
slap.
Wait, I forgot
Nope.
to put advantage on it.
Just roll again. There.
That would hit, but he maneuvers his blade and ricochets your blade across as he parries your blow.
Okay.
Ooh, he had a reaction.
True. And he says something like, Guild Masters. Ah, you. Who would judge for your character, sir? And he's just like pointing at him accusatory, like, yeah.
Daddy.
And that's my turn.
Okay.
I hope you guys realize how insufferable Zartlam's gonna be after this, since he literally waded into the middle of half a dozen of these guys and is going to live.
I don't even know how he survived. I suspect he owes his wife to the squire, though.
To some extent, definitely.
So I'm gonna do my little dance of trying to not be seen too much. I'm gonna get close and chuck another acid potion at his face.
Okay.
Then another DC save. Ugh, low damage, but he might even succeed this time.
DC 14. He rolls a 14.
What?
He rolled a 14.
Mate.
Ah.
Does he have any modifiers like penalties?
On his dex, he's literally a +0 for dex, but he's got brave as a feat.
Yeah, I understood he has some kind of advantage.
Yeah.
If by any chance there was a -1. Okay, and I slink back, try to hide behind the trees so I don't get shot by something or someone.
Okay.
And ends my turn.
Squire.
Yeah. Hector.
Should be fine over there.
Actually, I had a thought for him. These guys are those soldiers were carrying spears, right?
Uh-huh.
He's gonna come over, pick up one of their spears, and try to huck it at the guy.
Okay.
Oh. It will be the disadvantage from this far, I think, though. I
Yes,
don't know
yes,
what
it
the
will.
range is.
Yeah.
If you roll a 1.
Let's see. I'm not gonna bother making a macro with it because he's not gonna keep carrying the spear.
Yeah, just roll a d20 and add his modifier.
Well, I'm rolling 2d20 because disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Wow,
missed
you missed.
20. So with his attack modifier, it would be a 19.
19. Yeah, that'll hit.
Which is a D6 damage.
Plus dexterity, probably.
Max damage.
Nice.
Holy crap!
The spear kind of just rushes past, barely misses the princess, and goes straight into the shoulder of Twigo, and he kind of like grabs hold of his, like looking at it as well, and
Winces.
This
looking.
bandit dude is just like.
Yep.
And then he's gonna run back into the trees.
Okay.
Alright.
Roll it.
Bonus action, hide first. I'm gonna try and hide first.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
25,
sure a
nice.
25 is hidden. And then I'll shoot him.
You disappear out of existence.
And as I shoot him, I go, "Your disgrace as a holy knight!" Pew! As I shoot him for when it kicks up.
He
10
rolled a
damage.
2, so he's literally got no idea where that even come from.
Huh?
All I hear is out of nowhere, "Your disgrace as a holy knight!"
But
don't
didn't she
even
nat
hear-
one?
Oh.
No, I
Oh, no,
bonus
sneak
action
attack.
myself.
Oh, you did it again. Got it. I missed that part. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't even hear that coming from Roland. You kind of just hear the echo from which it returned. But yeah, okay, wonderful. He's looking a little bit ropey and a little bit bloody, but he's still standing.
Roland's just like ducks down, so he's about the same height as the goblin.
Yeah. He turns his focus on you a little bit, Zartlam, as you're. He clearly there's something about you that is got his eye, whether it's a memory or something that's familiar, and plus you're trying to get his
Taunt him.
attention as well. So he does attempt 2 attacks against you
All right.
with his greatsword. Does a 20 hit?
It would, except I'm gonna full counter it.
Okay, so 8 points of slashing damage. Okay, so he,
As I drop my greatsword and pull
Yep.
out the broken blade.
yeah. So as he swipes you with your blade, you relief the hilt of your broken blade, ricocheting the blast as his own blade bounces off of his forehead and his helm slightly, cutting across his face. He kind of looks stunned, stumbles back, looks at your blade, and he's like, "That blade, I know that blade. No, it can't be. No, and he's stumbling back towards the cliff edge, and
Stop!
the last reaction, he stumbles. Let me just see if he makes dex.
I want to grab for him.
Wait a minute. Let's see if he makes a dex first, and then you can try and reach for him. Dex. Dex.
Find your
Where is he?
surroundings, fool.
Dex. Oh, it'd be. His feet do start to slide back with a 9. If you're attempting to try and grab him,
Yep.
go
Okay.
ahead and yeah.
As a note, Zartlam does not attempt to grab him. He just watches this happen.
You can stab
you
at him.
you do manage to grab his glove, his armored glove, but as you do, his actual hand slips out of the glove, and you're left with a glove as you see his body falling and tumbling hundreds and hundreds of feet towards the ground below.
So we
And
either have a new villain
you
or
see
he's
you see his form fall below the tree line and disappear from sight.
I'm like, well, what type of armor did these guys?
I mean, everything that they're wearing is insignia with the King's Guards, the Holy Knights. It's all insigniaed. It's their colours are white, gold. It's relatively decent armor, but it's heavy as hell. It doesn't look very protective in terms of the onslaught that Hector managed to slow between them. Most of the protective qualities have been ruined by the attacks.
Is it heavier or medium armor?
It's
But they have
very
shields.
heavy.
Okay, not interested. But I am gonna look for anything of use.
Yeah.
Help, rather.
Yeah,
How
no
about
worries.
point focus?
So, go ahead, both of you, and roll investigations.
I'm just looking for points.
25.
Yes, still, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so,
25.
Fizzle, you managed to find 2 healing potions on one of them.
Damn!
You find there are on one of them has an empty milk bottle. Strangely,
I can use that.
yeah. And he has 25 gold pieces on him. as you sort of rummage between the individuals there. Roland, you find 15 gold pieces amongst the rest of the guard.
Nice.
You do find that your arrows that went into them are in good repair, so they're reusable. You see the note that was found on the previous dead guards in the woods, a requisition for the arrest of Princess Leones for high treason against the kingdoms and the Grand Masters.
Which I spit on.
And you find one of them's carrying another 50 foot of hempen rope.
50 what?
50 foot of hempen rope.
Ooh, useful.
And one of the other bodies is carrying some manacles, a single pair of poorly made manacles.
Yeah, basically to shackle the princess.
Indeed, absolutely.
So, a bunch of weapons usable?
The spears are usable, but I mean, you probably only carry about 3 of them without really disturbing your weight and your balance.
Here's the thing, though.
Mhm.
I have a bag of holding.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if indeed you can take all 6 of the spears. One of them is slightly damaged, though. It does have a break in the hilt itself. There's like the wood is slightly splintered, like snapped almost.
Intact.
So yeah, that'd be 5 fully intact.
Okay.
Because one of them was in the guy that fell.
I'm gonna magically whisk them away.
Yeah.
How many? Didn't they each have like a sword too?
Me?
Yeah, they do all have swords. These 2 here, have swords, and one of the ones down here has sword. The rest were reliant on their spears.
So 3 long swords.
3 were they long swords or were they short swords? I can't remember now.
I think he said they were short swords.
I think they're short swords.
think
they're all
so,
short swords, but they're standard steel. They
Fine.
all of them on the hilt, on the base of the hilt, have the kingdom's insignia of Leones.
Obviously, they cannot be sold.
You would by the judgment think that if you was to sell them, likelihood is they're contraband in terms of being sold without being a King's Guard yourself or paperwork to prove the licensing of the weapon.
True.
There is a thing called a black market.
There is.
Yeah.
If only you knew someone who had smithing capabilities and could put them to some other use.
That was my other guess. Or someone who can actually tinker with stuff.
Yeah,
who can help you.
Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
Yep.
Yeah. It's weird. It's almost like we have some sort of A-team.
I pretty much can jury rig anything. Especially if someone knows what they're doing. I can help you.
I say those healing potions come in here.
That's my other question. I can produce a healing potion pretty much constantly. Would anyone who doesn't have the ability to bring someone back like to have one?
The only one that's able to drink it is...
Okay.
Yeah, I will point out that people have to long rest before they can take advantage of that again.
So...
Yeah, that's my other question. Does anyone still need healing who have not healed before? Probably Circle. He did get hit, right?
Shush, monkey,
he is muted though. Circle, would you like some healing? For free. It's like, no trouble.
You are cheeky.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Look after Zarkland. He's...
Well, I pretty much did all I could for him earlier on. Cannot. Basically, the potions I use are extremely powerful, but they can only affect a person once a day. So it doesn't bother me to give you healing. if you have been damaged.
I haven't taken any damage. So
Yeah, you're
That's
safe.
fine. Give me some healing then.
You know, I was seriously tanking today.
5 HP.
With
much.
everything going on and you searching the bodies, you hear the slumping of Princess Leones as she.
Princess, are you fine?
Here, drink this.
You've killed all the guards.
Well, they were accusing you of various things that
That's for the princess.
such unknightly valor is.
They were only following the orders of Twigo, but nonetheless, I thank you. I've been on the run for weeks.
Where are your minders? I'm sure you have knights to accompany you.
Not since I was accused falsely of attempting to murder the Grand Masters themselves.
they just want you out of the way.
Did you attempt to murder
What
the
if-
Grandmasters?
No.
As if she possibly could.
I walked in on a court meeting and learned that the king's death wasn't what it was thought out to be, and I'm actually trying to find someone.
Oh. Perhaps we could
Very
be of some
well.
assistance.
We shall assist you, my lady.
Unless you know the ones who were accused of the murder of the king, I don't
Can't
know
say
if you could help.
And why do you seek them out?
I have information they may need.
Such information that everyone could need.
I'm assuming the Grand Meister, the king, and that's why they wanted you taken care of.
It goes much deeper than that.
I believe we saved your life. We could perhaps benefit from this information if you feel free to divulge it.
Let's go to the inn.
Obviously not
This
here.
scene of grisly combat.
Yes. And, yeah, so you take your time to make your way back to the tavern.
Yep.
Yeah, we may as well take one of these sets of and get rid of the symbol so you can wear it.
Like I said, I gave the potion, one of my potions, to the princess. Can be normal.
Okay.
Here, princess, drink this. You will feel much better.
Thank you.
It is not poison.
Looks at you a bit obscurely, but strangely, not like a regular like humanoid would do, like any other commoner or passerby villager would normally react like to some extent to a goblin, but strangely she has some
or
sort
just
of.
Looks at me.
She doesn't say anything. She has some sort of similarity with your form, at least.
Okay. Well, I'm used to people staring. I don't know why they're staring, but they're staring all the time.
I go, hey, short stack, you did wonderful out there.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I believe
Mostly short stack.
I believe I hit not even once. My abilities exceed outside of combat. I can prove my worth. That can be assured.
You did great in the wolf and bear fight. So.
Speaking of proving one's worth in combat, and Zartlim's gonna pull his squire off to the side to congratulate him.
I wanted to do that as well. I'm gonna give him a pat.
Okay, Zartlam, can you please roll me a...
What?
You cut out, sorry.
Sorry, could you roll me a performance check, Zartlam?
I mean, not my worst skill. Oh, and I can add a d6 to that.
Oh, nice. That's okay.
Inspiration.
Yeah, okay, that's better. That's better. He kind of like, with everything that's gone on, the fact that you murdered people that he once knew, you kind of forced him into like a slavery / squire role. yet
Oi.
he still fought by your side. He kind of looks at you with a realization that perhaps you're not so bad. And
Hey, I'm gonna talk to him. See, I don't know how you became to this party, but they seem to be quite skilled, and you may perhaps gain something of following them. Well,
skilled, yes, one word to describe their abilities. I'm still yet to understand exactly what their principles are and what exactly they have in store for me, but strangely, I feel a small warmth in my body of the praise from Zartlem.
inside
Hopefully.
check.
Go ahead.
I'm kidding. Fizzo isn't the type of person who would doubt someone on their word.
Yeah. You can
Very
tell
well.
that there's definitely an element of glee in his eyes.
And you cut out again.
Sorry.
Element of what?
An element of glee in his eyes.
Okay.
Actually, Zartlan is going to speak up and say, I honestly expected it to take you longer to prove yourself, but today went beyond my expectations in more ways than one. And so I present to you an offer. You can either continue serving as my squire on a more formal basis, or you can go on your own way, and we will consider all debts paid.
There is.
If you choose not to continue to accompany us, then I would suggest speaking with Meliodas. After today, I wouldn't be surprised if he was looking to invest in some security.
And at this point, as you mentioned, Meliodas, he kind of bursts through the back door. You can smell the gorgeous aroma of meats cooking in the back. And Fizzle, this would be the first time that you witness Meliodas with food. And you can see he brings out a series of trays with pies on, and they smell extravagant. The pastry looks just right. The meat smells just perfectly cooked, and he places them on all the tables for you to help yourselves to.
I look at him and go, "Who are you? Did you hire?"
But these are my meat pies. You guys have had the meat pies. Just dig in.
Can I
Zartlan is going to dig in.
can I use my alchemical supplies to test for poisons or something like that?
You can certainly try.
There are all chemical tools, chemical supplies, or intelligence check or something.
Go for an
Look at
intelligence
Meliodas.
check.
I'm like, Sir Caval, here's your dinner.
I look at
What?
Meliodas and I say, "This is not food fit for this occasion."
What do I roll? I couldn't hear. DM?
No, sorry, I wasn't interrupting.
I couldn't hear. What do I roll?
Sorry, just an intelligence. It's fine.
Intelligence. Okay. 1 second. Let me find intelligence.
You just roll yours.
It looks like a meat pie.
I'm gonna take a very small piece and try it.
Sure. Anyone trying the pie, please make your constitution checks. Your constitution rolls for me. Saving rolls. Okay.
Constitution save or
Yep,
Constitution?
save.
Because I'm better at those. I got a 9! Even with a +5!
So,
I order an 8.
so Zartlam, from previously, I mean, it smells like the same pie. The texture, consistency is the same. There's like an added ingredient that wasn't in there last time, and you are reluctant to keep it down, and you can feel your chest is like rejecting it automatically. You can react to that. For you, Fizzle, being the first time, you don't even know what this is. I mean, it looks like pie, it smells like pie, it feels like pie in your mouth, but it tastes like it tastes like socks that have been worn for like a year, with onions and like dead rats, or you don't even know.
Enormous goblin meal?
Oh, do you say that?
No.
Okay.
Out of character. Normal goblin meal.
Okay.
And you struggle to keep composure, and immediately need to reject this
Out
meal.
the window.
This is a food fit for a lady. He needs to provide salads.
I specifically only drink the ale and I eat a ration.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, I asked Meliodas for salad.
I heard someone saying hiring security. I could really do with hiring some bodyguards, but if you're saying this guy is up to the job, I'll take him. And Hector kind of like looks at Zartlam and is like,
Zartlam will take a swig of ale to wash the pie out of his mouth in a moment and say, This man single-handedly took down 3 Kingsguard in that.
I believe he's decent, more than a decent fighter.
Oh, perhaps we can come up with an arrangement. Maybe I have him on retainer, and you
Wait,
guys,
really?
when you need him, you can always call, and we can send him your way.
Meliodas, what you really need is a cook.
No, you don't.
I'd have to agree. Apologize for that.
He's completely oblivious to like the negative
Okay.
reactions to his pies. He's just like smiling and like nodding.
Meliodas, might I have an idea. Do you mind if I borrow your kitchen for? I might be able to whip something out, surprise for everyone.
Is a pie not enough for you? I can make more.
No, I want to make as a gesture of goodwill for everyone, including you, something interesting. Perhaps
Ah.
I can.
Sure,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, of course.
Right, and I'll go and try and cook something with whatever is available.
I mean, you
Won't
find
be
very
like a
limited
big stew.
resources.
Like a big stew. Like there's gotta be some meat and vegetables in there, right?
There are meat. Yeah, there's carrots, there's potatoes,
I
there's
have been
all sorts
living
of
on
things
my
like that.
own for decades. Like, come on.
However, the meat that is on the racking is unidentifiable. You're not sure what the
Yeah.
meat is. It's meat,
Right.
but you don't know from what.
Is it edible without spoiling the stew?
There's only one way to find out.
Nature check. Can I do a nature check?
Yeah, sure.
Edible enough. In it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, to be fair, it's gonna go like through a cooking process.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll an additional performance check just to see how well you put the meal together.
Performance or medicine?
Ooh.
It's actually the same for me, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Either one.
Because I imagine like cooking would be like medicine or something like
Yeah,
that.
I
There's
guess.
actually a tool set.
Yeah.
I'm not a cook, if that's what you're 14.
Okay.
It's not poison.
It's definitely not poison. So it takes you a few hours. You whip something up. You manage to find some bowls and dish it up, and there's a tray for you to bring it out onto the shop floor, and you distribute it between everyone.
Yeah, like it's a big pot.
Yeah. Meliodas is tucking in. He doesn't seem anything wrong with it at all. Guys, the rest of you having a go?
It's not the best I've ever had, but
I will give the goblin the
What
benefit of
others
the
are
doubt.
doing.
Okay.
Zartlam will take a portion, but he's also still trying to force down the pie that was put in front.
So, who?
And see if what happens.
Okay. Anyone that's trying it, just another Constitution saving throw, just to see how well it goes down.
I am eating as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Con save again.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay.
Natural 20.
I mean,
Apparently, compared to this pie, it's delicious.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. Zartlam, this is one of the best meals you've had in at least a week. So yeah, you chow down. Sir Caval, you seem fine with it. It's still got that pie element to it. Like it still tastes similar to the pie, but it's definitely it's definitely an improvement on the pie. And Fizzle, even with the 7, for you, as you spent time in the kitchen testing the food as you were making it, you managed to consume it, no issue.
And I eat beef jerky.
It's not bad. You should at least try a sip. Look, no one is sick. I go to the
Okay,
person.
I walk to the little pig, give him the bowl.
The pig? What pig?
But there is a pig.
Is there?
Yeah. So the pig just does. Sir Scraps does dig in and like he's not fussed by it. He'll eat pretty much anything.
Yeah, I know. I forget its name. What was the name?
So
Find something that the princess can eat that isn't fucking high ingredient based.
Hawk.
Probably like
Hawk,
salmon,
yeah, that's it.
something easy. And as I serve her the portion of food, I also present to her the sigil of my order, and I say, "You are safe now."
Okay. She kind of looks it with a familiar glint in her eye. She's of course quite young for a princess, so even though she's an adult, she's only familiar with things of more recent activities regarding laws in the kingdoms and stuff. So even though she does recognize the symbol, she's not fully familiar with what that symbol represents. Okay, so a few hours pass, you manage to eat, darkness and spades. You can all rest up for the night. I'm going to say you all get to level up.
Hey! It's a
Can
big deal.
I say that between dinner and heading to bed, I work on the armor a little bit?
Of course.
Can I help
Before
you?
going to bed, I go back behind here and throw the bodies off the
Yeah,
cliff.
nice. Can you just mark on your sheet, Zartlam, one day of armor working?
Can I help him out?
Sorry, you
I
cut out
mean,
there. Can you repeat it?
Sorry, if you just mark off one day of armor working down on your sheet.
Do you want me to make a Smith Tools check to see if that affects anything?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then did somebody say they wanted to help me with that?
would it be possible for me to help with the cleaning at the very least? I am good with anything that's like remotely jury rigged.
When you kind of ask that around, you see like this pig like whooshes past in between your legs as like snuffling around and cleaning the floor.
We can say that the person that isn't here is helping it.
So yeah, Smith. Yeah, I'd say that's a reasonably good. You managed to get quite a good amount of work done in that time. You're happy with it. Yeah. So I'll close it off there, guys. You'll get your level up.
As the guards go flying off the cliff.
Last time.
So
Alright. We roll for health now. And don't roll 1. 5! Yay! It's pretty
cool. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
I guess it's only 1 above average, but still.
5 and 2, that's 7 more.
Woo, I got 6.
31.